information in terms of what's the advantage of annexing into the city? Or if there, or what belief is it that you don't want to annex into the city? What's the pros and cons?
There's a lot of misinformation out there about if I have cows and I annex in, I'm going to maybe get rid of my cows. That's not so. There are some people that say, well, I can shoot my gun on my property in the county, but I can't shoot my gun if I come in the city. Shooting your gun is illegal whether you live in the county or the city. So it's a state law. So so there's a lot of misinformation out there, and that's why we had these flyers developed. It kind of takes you through some of those things. If you are unincorporated Volusia County and you call the 911 center, you have to wait for a Volusia County deputy to show up unless they ask us for assistance. If you have a fire, they have one fire truck in the area. We have an agreement between the fire departments that we respond also, but we have to wait for the county to have us come in. So there are issues about some of that. The garbage pickup was fairly big. I mean, as an advantage to get your garbage picked up twice a week opposed to once a week. That's going to be all resolved sometime in April because of the agreement.
I know there's always a belief that there's a big difference in tax.
According to last year's taxes, 2019, it's a $284 savings if you're a city resident versus a county resident. So, there is a savings. Most of you all have UC as your power provider, so there's no change there. If you're depending on where you are in that donut hole, your road may be a county road and not a city road, so you have to wait for them to do the maintenance on it. So once the majority of the road comes into the city, we take over responsibility for that road maintenance. So, long term, it's as a commission, it's going to be, and as a city, it's going to be more responsibility for us. But I think in the long run, you're going to have a better quality of life. Our building department is here, not in the land. If you have to do business with the county, you have to go to DeLand. Here, you go either out to the North Dixie Highway or down to City Hall. So, there are benefits that way. I don't live in the county, so I don't know what the benefits is for living. I annexed this in the
I missed heard the comment you made on the shooting the guns. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I didn't hear you.
Some people believe that if you're in the county, you can shoot your guns,
Yeah.
and that if you're city, you can't. But there actually is a state law that dictates when and where you can shoot your guns. So it applies whether you're in the city or the
Oh,
county.
yeah, as long as you're on your property.
Yeah. That was my point. It applies whether you're in the county or the city.
My question is on the law enforcement. On the weekends, you have 3 officers in the city of New Smyrna, and there's 5 sheriffs here, and we get better response from the sheriff. And when you talk about the paving, you've owned it from the Glencoe Road to Limestone for over 10 years, and the county's already paved in that time, and the city hasn't. And then the new development that you're putting in the apartments has just flooded the road. First time in 40 years that I know that road's been underwater. And when we call the city of New Smyrna, they say we don't own the road. When we call the maintenance, I have the emails. So I'm not saying that y'all are doing a bad thing. We just have to come to grips with this. Because I have the emails to your city from before the November of that road flooding. And the response from the city of New Smyrna was, we don't own the road. Well, you do own the road to Limestone. You annexed that well beyond 10 years ago. No maintenance has been done. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing to annex, but I don't agree with your statement that it's better right now, because we haven't proven that.
That's something we need to talk about because, I don't know who contacted you or who you contacted and who said that. Because everybody that I know of knows that part of Glencoe is in the city.
Head of maintenance, I'll forward you the email tomorrow.
Okay. The other thing is, with the apartments going in, and with the development that's on the east side of Glencoe Road, they're improving the intersection by adding turn lanes, both east and west on State Road 44. So if we would have paved that this last year, they'd have torn it all up to repave it, to put in infrastructure.
I don't
So-
disagree with you
So,
at all.
you know, yes, we probably could have, should have, but would it have been the best time to have done it? You know, to spend tax dollars on something that's, you know, wasn't going to get torn up. So I'm sure once the apartment has to have their turn lane in by the time they get their first certificate of occupancy on their building. So they're looking at sometime March, April, depending on construction.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is you built 2 projects out there in that time and have not improved the road. You have another apartment complex and a housing development.
Impact fees.
Pardon?
Impact fees, that's what it's for.
Yes.
And if somebody's not using it,
Impact fees can be used for new, can't be used to repay. So there are limitations to some of that money. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Right on Washington and US 1, you have a turn lane that's go across the B side, but I have a turn lane coming this way.
Called that for years.
Huh?
You just said about it, I'm just saying that we have done that for a ton of
For
years.
20 years, we tried to.
More than 20. I don't know about turning lane.
West side.
Yes, we also have telephone poles in the middle of sidewalks, and we have places where the sidewalks are narrow, a wheelchair can't get down. But Washington Street is, again, it's part of the county roadway system. We are looking at redoing Washington Street and that intersection at A1A, or US 1. But it's a high dollar thing because we want to get the power lines underground. You know, we want to remove the utilities. We want to improve the stormwater. So those are all high dollar items. So we're looking for funding or how we can accomplish that in the near future. So that has been on our radar. It's been on the Congress radar probably for 15 years. That's been a project of his, and it's, you know, a lot of it is just funding and getting the county and the state to buy into the project.
But that turn thing is a DOT thing, and they have sat there, we had somebody to sit there with the person from the state, and they still say it was not feasible. That is, I'm surprised that we haven't had real bad accidents. The only reason I don't have one, because I turned down that command.
We have the same problem at 44 in Corbin Park. They refused to put traffic light in. You know, and now we've had a fatality, so.
But they put a stop sign at a three-way, it's an unnecessary stop sign on Hickory Street, end of Hickory Street. I don't understand, it's a stop sign, you're gonna slow down to turn, but they put a stop sign there, and it's a three-way.
I know.
Maybe that's to slow traffic though.
Huh?
Maybe that's.
It's a short street, it's a short street. It's not that long, you can't even speed on it if you wanted to.
So if you want to send me an email about those things specific, we can look into them. I can get back to you on that. But I don't know, you know.
It's that turn, you know where it is.
Yeah, I know
You
what.
can turn to go in the meat shop, but you can't turn to come over here. And it's a nightmare.
I know that CRA is looking for improving the median on US 1. They're looking to do some improvements. I don't know if that's going to be part of the improvements or not, but we can certainly look at that. Anybody else? Thank you all for coming. I certainly do appreciate it. You're welcome to cookies and business cards and water. And if you have any questions about any of the projects that are slated in the near future, you can talk about that in the back.